Hello friends and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we have a very special video for you because we are doing a garden tour at our dear friend Brian's house. If you have been to Creekside Nursery, then I am sure that you have probably met Brian, and Brian has got a beautiful gift of putting colors together, colors and textures, and I am so stinking excited to be at this garden because I have not been here. I've been here one time, but it was not in the summer.
Yes.
So we are going to walk through. Y'all get prepared for an absolutely gorgeous yard. We are here in Cleveland County, so
yes,
bless his heart, he gets the MVP of employees because it's what, a 40-minute drive?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah. But a 40-minute drive to Creekside. It's a beautiful drive, but it's a hop, skip, and jump over here. So we are going to have some fun, and Brian's going to kind of walk us through the garden, give us a little history, because you've been here
3 years this month.
3 years this, oh, well, happy anniversary.
Thank
there
you.
you go. So, okay, so let's just kind of walk and talk, and then, yeah, first of all, let's just talk about, Jerry's going to go through and just kind of do big pans. And then while he's doing that, let's just talk about like what it was when you bought the house, because it did not look like this at all. Not. Okay. So, so you and JT have been here for 3 years this month. So what did the house garden, was there a garden?
There were no gardens. Everything here was virgin soil. Pretty much everything that was built into the house that we did garden wise, we put in.
Wow.
So most of these plants have only, like this is going into their third year. Some of them, not even their third year, maybe 2, sometimes 1 year.
So like these fire chiefs, is that the third year?
This is their third growing season.
So this is their leap year.
It is.
It is their leap year. And this is, I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. And this is what I would consider like a full grown fire chief.
Absolutely, yep.
Have you ever pruned them?
I have not.
Oh my gosh.
I have not touched these once.
These are gorgeous. Okay, so then you've got the fire chief, and this is what I love about Brian's yard is that the colors and the textures and how you put plants together. Like I sometimes, like I look at your pictures and I would never put plants together or colors together, but you have expanded my horizons and stretched me, and it's just gorgeous. So storm proofs?
Yes.
All right, so these are new.
Just put these in this year.
This year. So then obviously we're working with, as far as your sun conditions, we're working from full sun in the front and then up here to the house, move it to a little bit shadier.
Right, yeah, this gets full sun till about 1, 2 o'clock.
Okay.
And then it goes in the shade.
Okay.
Once you go out from the house a little bit towards the walkway beds, that gets about till 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
But yeah, I planted this here because I knew that Stormproof did pretty well with like 3 to 4, sometimes 5 hours of sun.
But this Elysium,
yes,
I mean, dear heavens,
it's beautiful.
It is gorgeous. And so you've got like full sun, and then you just come up here to this one Elysium, perfect specimen. Have you ever pruned it?
I've pruned it a couple times, but just like the wild branches.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, she's been
gorgeous.
Here just 3 years.
That's probably about the prettiest Elysium that I have ever seen. That is stunning. And then you've got your daylilies right there, and then of course the fountain is just glorious. I love it.
The Elysium probably just loves its spot because it's right by the water spigot, and it gets lots of water.
Lots of water, and then the heat. I love it. Okay, so coming on down, and then your pathway. So we're going with yellows this year, huh?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. Yellow. So we've got the Mystic Illusion. So how many plants is this?
This is 2. I kind of space them in between like the grass and the yarrow because I know how big these get. Yeah. So I didn't want to put them too close together. So I got 2 here. There's 1. Then the next grouping is 2, 2, and then 1.
Gotcha. And then the grass is Cheyenne Sky. So beautiful, like combination of perennials and annuals all mixed in. You've got that chartreuse, Nepeta. That's the chartreuse on the loose. Next to the
That is.
Who is that?
That's fuchsia. Yep.
Fuchsia. Okay, this is fuchsia. And then I always joke, y'all, with Brian, because even though he is 40 minutes northwest of us, I tell him, I'm like, your garden is weeks ahead of ours. His hummingbirds come faster. His plants go faster. Like, he's got, you know, those alliums that are already blooming. You had your first Japanese beetle before I did, so you can keep those. But it's just crazy about this microclimate of your yard is really like advanced as far as like with us.
Right.
It's just crazy, but it's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, you are a lover of whimsical things as well.
I am.
You are. So we have got the sequined gnome here, butterflies, all sorts of fun things in here. And then y'all do big, like, holiday stuff too as well.
We do.
Yeah, they go all out. So not only is it in the garden, but also fun decorations for the different holidays. Okay, and then moving around. So tell us about this spot, because this was, didn't you have poison ivy here when you moved in?
Yeah, so it was actually over there where the arborvitae is. That's where we got tore up. And then I'm assuming just pieces from where we moved, because there was a hydrangea over there. It was just a random, like, florist hydrangea.
Okay.
We dug it up, and I guess the roots were intermingled with it, and dug that up. And then somewhere amongst here in the back is where it had spread to. So yeah, we got eat up when we initially like dug this stuff, because we tilled everything up.
Okay.
And then that's when we put our topsoil down. But yeah, I mean, this was all grass.
This is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And then your bicycle over here, that's, isn't that like what, last year?
This year.
This year?
Yeah.
Wow. So fun. And then the barberries. I love it that you embrace the barberries.
They're, like, I cannot recommend barberry enough to anybody because they're so low maintenance. I literally prune it once a year in late winter going into spring, and that's it. I don't touch it.
It is just gorgeous. And that would be?
That is orange pillar.
Orange pillar. Okay.
I've got this one here, and then the 3 in the arch over here.
And then I love this. So you've got the daylilies, and then your liatris is getting ready to bloom. So then you're going to have like the oranges and that deep red, moody red, and then purple.
Yep.
Purple.
And that's the main colors I always play with when I'm looking at a garden to design is reds, blues, yellows, and of course greens, because I mean plants are naturally green. Right. But when I'm looking at a space, those are the main colors that I always look at. And then if there's any colors that I can pop in there that's different, like the Viking XL, just that dark foliage, just to add a different texture and depth towards the back of the bed. Yeah.
So, like, for example, because, I mean, they're a good size, but they're still growing, of course, is ridiculous. Yep. So you've got the ridiculous coleus in the back, and I love that you know how big it's going to be. Yeah. Like, there is no doubt that he knows exactly what these plants are going to do, because you may look and go, well, why in the world is it in the back? Well, because Brian knows. And that's next to your totem pole, and you've got more your daylilies, and then your hibiscus.
Which that one? Is French vanilla.
French vanilla.
She's on the struggle bus, but you know.
And that's all right. Sometimes we all are, for sure. And then you've got your smoke bush back there. Yeah. Oh, absolutely beautiful. And then like your Monarda, and then the Cobalt, Superbena. Again, going in to the barberries. Oh.
And I tucked some Rocket Juniors also. Like there's one here, there's one there. I tucked a little bit here and there, so like those little pops of red will carry throughout this little section, because I love it. Other than the coleus, like this is it, like color wise for red, until you get over towards the stairs and over towards the side of the house. So I wanted like little pops here and there of the red.
Right. But then design wise, talking about this, because Brian is also a very talented floral designer. Is that would that be the correct term? And so how you put like the colors and the textures together, but thinking about like when you look at your house, carrying that same color, even though they're different plants, across the house.
Absolutely.
To make it uniform. It's just unbelievable.
And textures and layering is so important.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, so tell us like your maintenance, like, so because people will look at this and they're like, okay, well, what do you do? Like, what would your regular maintenance be? How much, just talk about that a little bit.
So basically annuals, I'll fertilize once a week as I normally would. Perennials, I just do a basic cutback in the fall or late winter whenever I decide to do it. Mm-hmm. Personally, I really don't feel like there's a whole bunch of maintenance. Mm-hmm. I always try to pick plants that can take care of themselves because I can always be out here to do it.
Yeah, right.
So I always try to pick plants that are hard, they can take care of themselves. If they miss a watering, they're fine. And
then we were talking before we started filming that when y'all were designing the beds, like y'all had brought in some good bulk compost and put that down. So do you amend your soil kind of on a regular basis, like once a year?
Once a year.
Once a year. And then top dress with mulch?
Every year.
That same time? Same time. Yep. Do you, question, do you typically do it more like in the fall, winter? Or is there a certain time that you do yours?
Usually spring.
Spring. Okay.
Yeah. I always try to wait till the catkins fall from this oak because if I put the mulch down fresh and those haven't fallen yet, it's a disaster.
It just messes the whole thing up. Messes the whole thing up.
It's aesthetics.
It is. It is. And Brian is perfect on that. So this is, of course, the front of the house, and then there's more.
Yes.
There's so much more, my friends. So, question first of all, how big of a lot do you have?
This is almost 3/4 of an acre.
Okay. All right. Because I just like to give people reference because, of course, at Creekside, everything's, massive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, so 3/4 of an acre. And so you have, you're like us. You're like, oh, well, where can we put a new garden?
That's right.
So you're always adding in new gardens. This is the backside of the island bed, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So walk us through this.
And I actually got this inspo from you guys from the berm.
Oh.
So it was initially raised up a little bit. Once we go around the front, you can see it's raised up some. Of course, soil settles over time. So the plants have settled in. This has been here year 3.
Okay.
Most of the plants I kind of repeat, but I also choose different types of plants.
Look at that.
Yeah, that is a weeping Norway spruce.
Weeping Norway spruce. And then also for the peoples, do you have irrigation?
I do. I have the ones from Lowe's. So it's basically like a sprinkler system. It's a 360.
Okay.
It has 3 nozzles on it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the whole garden.
Okay.
Other than that, if I have to hand water, I will, but that's it.
Yep. Get them in and get them settled.
Yep.
All right. So you've got the weeping Norway spruce, yet another barberry.
Yes.
Look at that. And then, yeah. So talk us through the plants.
Yep. So we got barberry here on the end, and I wanted to put foundation plants in here and real statement pieces on each side. So I've got a barberry here and the same on the other side. I've got the 2 trees in the back, and then of course the El Nino that's going to really make it's going to be a showstopper once it gets at full maturity. I've got some alliums here. I believe this is bobblehead.
It looks like it.
Coral sunset back
yeah.
there just to pop off that dark green.
Yeah.
I got the blue fortune agastache right here. I fell in love with that at the garden center. I was like, I've got to have that.
It is a gorgeous, and it's a gorgeous plant. The bees love it as well. And then, is this another chartreuse?
Yep. So I did 2 chartreuse here,
which I love. So talking about repeating, so you've got the 2 chartreuse here, and then you've got the chartreuse up there at the top too. So we're repeating that, and then you have. We said this was paradise.
Yeah, fuchsia.
Fuchsia. So, sorry. So, Super Junior Vista fuchsia here, and then up there at the house as well. So, we're pulling those back in again.
And I've got more barberry here.
More barberry.
This is
citrus?
Mini saffron. It's supposed to be. Not so many.
It is not so many. It is. I'm telling you, you're putting something in your soil here. It is fantastic.
And I got Webmaster Tradescantia.
And then which hydrangea?
This is Firelight Tidbit.
Tidbit.
There's 3 here.
Go big.
That's right.
Go big. I love it. It is just gorgeous. And then your redbud. Oh heavens.
That's probably the tree that I get the most compliments on, because people are like, I mean, it's not something that you see every day, and people are like,
look how massive these leaves are. They are huge.
And I actually just thinned that tree out this year. I cut it back to like 5 or 6 main stems.
And then look at that, all that new growth.
That's how, I mean, this is probably one of the fastest growing red buds that I'm aware of.
I think you're going to have to make your bed bigger.
I know, right? I mean, I'm not opposed.
Oh, darn. We have to give up the grass for more gardens. I mean, that thing is unbelievable. And you've had that in here for 3 years?
This is going on year 3.
And what size was it when you put it in? Do you remember? Was it a 15 gallon?
It was a 7 gallon. Yep.
Wow. I mean, you've got massive new growth all over this thing. And then I love that you put it right beside, would that be?
That is Starry Night.
Starry Night, okay.
She gets nice and big.
I bet.
I mean, just looking at the blooms, like just how big they are already.
Yeah.
Like just like the structure of the stamen part and the calyx, they're going to be massive.
And then I love, again, playing off of those colors, then you've got the Niagara Falls grass, which is absolutely gorgeous. That is such, you know, it's a personal favorite of mine. I love that blue grass. It is just beautiful. Okay, so we're going to stop and talk here for a second about this El Nino, because when we got here, I asked Brian, because everybody talks about how fragrant El Nino is. And mine at the chicken coop is in full bloom, right? Yep. And I go up and I'm smelling, and I cannot smell anything. And so I wanted to smell yours, and I was like, yep, nothing. And you're like, I can stand here and smell it. Yep. So I do not smell anything with the El Nino, and Brian totally does. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if my nose is broken or what. So I told him he needs to come to the chicken coop and smell my El Nino to see if it has the fragrance. But what would you, like, how do you describe that fragrance?
It's kind of like a sweet little perfume. It almost reminds me of like a lady's perfume, but it's so sweet. I don't know. It's one of those smells that's kind of hard to describe. Oh, look at the sweet baby.
Can you, is that a?
It's a little bumblebee.
It is a bumblebee. Can you see that little bumblebee in there?
See, like even standing right here, I can smell it.
Nope. I got nothing for it.
But now last week was, I mean, the whole front yard smelled, I mean, it was wonderful. It was, I can't even describe how good it smelled.
Well, I'm happy for you. Let's just say that. All right, now, so, we got to do the front entrance beds.
Yeah, and I have this one down here,
let's
too.
Go, okay, sorry, let's go this one. I'm telling you, he's got gardens everywhere. And so, okay, remind me, was it 2 years ago where you lost a bed, you lost a garden because of flooding?
Yeah, so it was actually those 2 entrance beds down there that I lost. Like, everything was just wiped out.
Oh, we'll talk about that when we get there. All right, so this is, oh my gosh, look at that.
So this garden is really, this is its 2nd year.
Okay.
We put this tree in, it was a ball and burlap. I think it was like 3 foot tall.
Wow.
And I mean, it just loves its spot is all I know.
Do you know what kind it is? Do you remember?
Just a regular standard Norway spruce.
Okay. And then, again, repeating the same barberry, the same petunia, the same grass, but in a completely different, like you have a grass instead of 2. And then you split your barberries, and then you've got the new Pico Punch.
That's right.
The new Pico Punch.
And I've got sorbet in the back there.
I see sorbet back there.
To try to kind of repeat, because I've got the Pugster Pinkers in that bed behind the hydrangeas, so I just wanted to pull in some butterfly bushes over here.
Right, and I love this too because, you know, looking at like on your yard, and this bed is probably what? 20?
20 feet maybe.
So 20 feet long, and then it's kind of I'd call it like a kidney bean shape. So in the deepest, it's what? 6, 7?
7, yeah.
Something like that. So it's not like you've got to have massive amounts of space to have beautiful colors and textures and height and different bloom times and different interests. And you've got your evergreens in here. You'll have your grass in the wintertime to have that. Oh my gosh.
And this is watermelon ruffles, one of them.
One of them.
Yep.
One of them. How many, you are a lover of perennial hibiscus. Do you know how many you have? How many different varieties?
I think there's 16 in the gardens.
Yeah, he does enjoy his perennial hibiscus. He does. He does. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. All right. So then the entrance beds, because you put in the entrance beds, and then did you have the stone the first time?
We didn't.
Okay.
That was kind of like a life lesson.
Yeah.
It was really, we had no edging, no stone. It was just one of those things, like I wanted something that I could put at the entrance to be like, wow.
Yeah.
And I wanted to leave a section in the garden to where it would just be like my annual section, and that's it. No perennials, no shrubs other than the arborvitaes. That way each year I can change it up.
Yeah.
Because like I just want different plants.
No, right. There's too many, and that's the thing, is like there's so many different cool plants out there, and then every year you get a different, like you want to do different colors. That's right. You want to do a different like structure or theme. Oh, Brian.
And I was talking with Cece last week, and the salvia, that deep purple, that is one of the sexiest plants.
I think the hummingbirds would agree.
Yes. I mean, it is so striking.
So here, okay, so in this bed, you have got, of course, one of my all-time favorite petunias. You've got super petunia, saffron finch, and then we go into the gumfrena, and then that salvia, and then the cleome. And that is like the perfect, like, definition textbook of like layers, because this is only going to get taller and fuller. I mean, we're just here relatively at the beginning of June, and this has got a lot of growing season left.
And I always pack them in just because I like that impact.
Yeah.
I was a little worried at first about the Senorita Rosalita because it was a lot shorter than the salvia. When we got that rain,
boom. They struggled because of the heat and then the drought. They were struggling. But now, like you said, with all that beautiful rain, man, they have taken off. Love it. And then, of course, your Kinsley's Ghost.
Yep. And those Creekside Champions.
There you go. Oh, my gosh.
I got the Pizzazz Yellow, and then that's I believe it's Fireball.
Fireball Pink, I think is what it is. Yep. And then how long have you had your honeysuckle?
Kinsley, this is its second year.
Okay.
So this is her growing season of year 2.
Yeah. And so then this is what, emerald, is this an emerald green?
They are.
Emerald green.
Yep.
So then you plant them the exact same.
Yep.
Yeah. So absolutely gorgeous. And Brian is on the garden tour this year. So this is very exciting. So you're going to have folks coming through and walking and asking questions.
Yep. I think we're planning on 250 people roughly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations, my friend. That is so fantastic. I love it. All right. You said the side garden.
Yes.
Yes. So let's go up to the side garden. Okay, my friends. So talking about Brian being a lover of the perennial hibiscus, this is the coolest thing. This is one of those things I never would have done. I would have been like, I would be afraid it would look too chaotic, but it doesn't. So you just told me about it, but tell the peoples what this is.
So in the middle, I've got Lilac Crush because that obviously will be the tallest one. Here in the front, I have Cherry Chocolate. Here beside Cherry Chocolate and on the back side of Lilac Crush, I have Spinderella. Here in the front, on the side, I've got
Holy
Grail. And then on this other side, I've got Evening Rose. So when it blooms, all these bloom at the same time. And you want to talk about a color explosion?
I mean, it's just, I can't even imagine what that looks like. Gorgeous, but I mean, I just, you know what I mean? Like, to see, like, I can't imagine that you would really see any green Like it would just be covered in those massive flowers.
You know, even the colors, they may not mesh well together if you like put them side by side without them being on a plant. But when they're all blooming at the same time, the colors go so well together. Because you've got your pinks and your reds, and the eyes in the middle of the hibiscus are red, so that ties into your holy grails, and I mean it's beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. We're gonna have to do a follow-up on and get some pictures on this. Absolutely. Okay, so then coming up, we're gonna talk about a struggle, because he has messes and successes like we all do. Yes, so I just have to talk about that and make myself feel better a little bit. Okay, so again, really cool little fun little island bed that you've got your mac hydrangeas in here, and so you have got, are they all Arebas too?
These two are Let's Dance. No, they're not. They're Tough Stuff Aha. Both of these.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you've got the Eclipse hydrangea. So we were talking about the Eclipse. Eclipse, of course, is gorgeous because it has that naturally like black foliage and then color specific blooms. Yours look a whole lot better than mine at the house, because mine, whoo, she had a hard winter. I don't know that she's gonna make it, but and because you were talking about maybe moving these. Yeah,
I think I'm gonna move these up to the Woodland area, just because it's north facing here. So, and the winds of the winter, I mean, it just beats them so bad. And then like through here, it gets like direct sun for a couple hours in the afternoons. And in the summer times, they start to wilt and they'll burn a little bit. So I think it's time to move them.
But then your Let's Dance Areba.
And she's pretty.
She's gorgeous. And you said last year she was different colors.
Yes, she was pink, purple, blue. And then this year she just decided to be purple.
There you go. Of course, pH dependent. Beautiful foliage. Absolutely beautiful foliage. Okay, so moving on to the backyard. I've never been to the backyard before. So this is fun coming on through. So you've got containers.
Yep.
And
hanging baskets.
Hanging baskets. Now, was the Japanese maple, was it here?
It was. So we planted that. This is its 3rd year.
Okay.
I kind of wanted to do like a Japanese theme type garden in this area because we had to figure out something to do with the downspout.
Yeah.
Because where the driveway ends when we moved in, this was just like a cesspool of water.
Oh.
So we wanted to put something here that we could get the water to drain out, look decent.
Yeah.
And have plants in. So
it's beautiful. I love how you've done the rockway, and that is gorgeous. And look at your nasturtiums.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Look at you.
I actually made that little trellis there.
Oh, I'm so impressed.
Hoping it goes right up.
Let's go up. Go up for sure. Oh, got your golden hour candle going.
That's right. You know I had to.
And then what's climbing on the wall?
That is a cross vine.
Okay.
Tangerine.
Yeah. No.
Beauty, I think is what it's called.
Okay. Love it. That's going to be stunning. And then your green stalk planter, looking fabulous, darling.
Yeah, I just planted that.
It looks great.
Saturday. Yeah, Saturday evening.
Yeah. It looks fantastic.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Love it. Oh, my. Okay, let's talk about these echinacea right quick. Dear heavens.
Yeah, just don't pay attention to the rose. Y'all, roses are not my thing, clearly. But you know what? There's messes and successes.
There are messes and successes. Amen to that. We're not even going to talk about the rose. I'm looking at the echinacea. I was like, when you said rose, I was like, where's there a rose?
Exactly.
I don't see no rose. I just see the gorgeousness.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Oh, my. And who is that?
That is Double Deluxe Strawberry Scoop. Something. It's a long name.
That is massive. And then you've got candy corns.
Yep.
Candy corns, and then coming on through.
And she's they're about at their time to cut. And then hoping for a reflush at that point.
And then your Rudbeckia, right?
Yep. That's Goldstrom.
Uh-huh.
She's starting to bud out and bloom.
My gosh.
And then behind that is Watermelon Ruffles. That's my second one.
Watermelon Ruffles, more Liatris. And then you've got back there in the back, you've got the rock steady. Is that rock steady?
It is.
Golly, that looks great.
There's blue paradises back here. There's some daylilies. There's some more stuff back over here.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, people. Brian is putting something in his soil that he is not telling us about. He is holding out. It's like that recipe and that one secret ingredient that they don't tell you about. Well, that's what's happening right here with these alliums. I mean, my gosh. Bubble
bath.
Bubble bath.
Yeah, they're huge.
They are massive. And then, of course, they're covered in the bees, and the bees could care less that I'm sitting here standing here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, good golly. Sorry, I know you were talking, and I was enamored in the alliums. Oh, my. And you've got dahlias. Was that Cathay Olay?
It is.
Cathay Olay. See, just how the mixing, and then that salvia, the red. Is that a salvia?
It is. It's I believe it's Roman red.
Golly. So then how long, y'all recently, I mean, I say recently.
Oh yeah, this garden was put in last March. This whole garden.
So just a year.
Yeah.
Basically.
Just a year.
A year old.
Yep, everything from the echinaceas all the way back up the hill.
Oh my.
This is going into its second year.
So it'd be its second summer.
Yep, second summer.
So okay, so when you're designing this, right? When you're designing your gardens, are you a combination of you find a plant and you're like, I love this plant, I'll figure out where it goes, and that you plan it ahead of time and then you go and you seek out that plant? Both.
I try to compare the plants that I know that I already have, and if I'm like, oh, I don't know if I have a place for it, then I'll just pop it in. But I knew I had flock of flamingos, so I wanted another penstemon to pop in there.
Yeah, speaking of that, y'all, look at these right here. So you've got the flock of flamingos and then the parade of parrots, right?
That's it.
So, oh my gosh. Prime example, my friends, his flock of flamingos, you said it's kind of on the end of the bloom cycle.
They're just about
where
done.
Mine haven't not even started yet. So there you go. But yeah, that color together, gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. All right, so moving up here to the shady woodland area.
Yes.
Because again, y'all were taking out trees in here, right?
Yeah, this whole area, basically from where the arch is back, was nothing but trees. There was a 70-foot oak tree that was right here.
Yeah.
That we had taken down. These stumps here, they were 60, 70 feet pine trees. There was more trees down along there. And everything from this hill back, I think we cleared 32 trees.
Wow.
And then all this is going into its pretty much first year. Most of these plants are brand new this year.
Look at this. That is stunning, Brian.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so we've got the dragon wing white.
Yep.
We've got the sweet potato vine. Which hosta?
June.
June.
Yep.
So you have a June, and then
there's 4 angel wings.
Okay, so 4 on the corners.
Yep. And then 2 of the key lime upside.
So I'm going to use you as an example. So this is what happens to my sweet potato vine. Again, you're advanced. So there's a little beetle, and I can't remember now what the name of the beetle is. And what they do is they just come and they'll just chew on the sweet potato vine, which is annoying because they just put the holes in it. But I mean, it's part of nature.
It is.
You can, if you wanted to spray something, you could. But this is absolutely gorgeous. I never would have done this. Never would have done this. But that is so pretty, and having them right here as you come in. Oh, Brian, this is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. A lot of these are Mimi plants too.
So yes, Mimi was supposed to come with us. but she kind of forgot that she was having lunch with her cousins today in Columbia. And so she was very upset that she didn't get to come. But yeah, so there are, if you get in with Mimi, she will give you more plants than you know what to do with.
Yes, she will.
Yes. And so like all the Creekside family, if you mention that you want a plant, she says, I left a bag at the mailbox. Just grab it on your way out. Oh my. So this is pretty much what, all day filtered sun?
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh.
Now towards like the front of the hill.
Sure.
Where the, what are those?
Angelonias. The angel face?
Yep. The angel face and the ultraviolet phlox.
Yep.
From there back is pretty much filtered sun for the day, but from the phlox forward is part sun. So till like 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Yep. Is that a Harry Lauder walking stick?
It is.
Oh, you got one. Oh. And then fresco?
Yep. So there's a fresco in the ground, and I put one beside it in the pot just to see what would happen.
Well, we have a little chemistry lesson there now, don't we? So that fresco is pH dependent. So it's so interesting because my frescoes, of course, in the ground, all of those hydrangeas, minus the tough stuff, are all pink. So like my sky views are beautiful pink. The frescoes are a beautiful pink, but then my tough stuff, my tiny tough stuff, are actually blue. So it'll be interesting to see how they change as they get adapted, because mine haven't even been in like a year yet.
Right. And like these sky views, there's like 6 sky views around here. Last year they were the most electric colors. And I'm glad that they kind of faded to like that pastel color.
Yeah.
Because I love like
that blue is gorgeous.
Yes, it's nice and calming when you come up here.
It is. It's very, very peaceful. Like it's just serene right here. It is just lovely. And it's also so interesting because that's Feather Falls by the hammock.
It is.
Now, is that on irrigation at all?
Nope, none of this is.
So let's just talk about this for a minute, y'all. So no irrigation up here, but here you have a Carex, Feather Falls, basically at the base of a pine tree, and that is a good size Feather Falls in what I would consider dry shade.
Absolutely. And
it is loving life. So beautiful. And then you've got your serratas.
I kind of dotted them throughout, so when you come up the hill, there's like anchoring places to look at. So in the future, like I'd like to have like gardens within that anchoring spot, which is why I put these ferns here.
I love that. That's a great point. Get the bones in and then develop it throughout. So incredibly beautiful. Well, Brian, I can't thank you enough for letting us come.
Yes, thank you so much.
I mean, it is gorgeous. I just absolutely fantastic. I'm so stinking proud of you. Not that you needed anything from me, but my gosh, this is just lovely.
Well, thank you.
So when you come to the garden center, or you happen to get Brian on customer service and he says, well, I would recommend fill in the blank, listen to the man. He knows what he's talking about, and we have a lot of fun.
We do.
With each other and bouncing ideas off each other. And like I said, you have stretched me and like, yeah, put those 2 colors together.
Yeah, put those reds in the garden.
Put those reds. No, it is. I mean, even here in the shade garden, you've got the reds in here. It is beautiful. Well, and that's what's so fun too about gardening. You know, like I could have the exact same plants, and a lot of these plants I do have, right? Yep. And you have the same plants, but how you design them and place them can be completely different than what I do. And one's not right or wrong. It's just that's
our preference.
That's our preference, and that's the joy and the artistry of gardens and the differences. And that's what makes this world so beautiful, is that you could have that different eye and how you put things together.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, my friends, as always, we hope you have found this fun, informative, and inspirational. If you have not found this inspirational, there is something wrong with you. Y'all have an amazing day. Brian, thank you, my love.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.
Bye, guys.